It's really very good to be here with you. I thank you very much for this opportunity to show a bit what we are doing in Brazil, in the central part of Brazil. We are going through difficult times, but at the same time, a time of great change in our country, politically, economically, and socially. And the Center of Excellence has given us the opportunity to work integrating different agents and different disciplines and different studies in order to accelerate change, in order to test different models to help us to introduce new paradigms in the production process of the built environment. So it has been very interesting, our work, as we have been able to work at the graduation, post-graduation level, integrating studies and research, also giving support to BRE Global and BRE Limited in the sense of helping and supporting the delivery of important works and tools which actually have also guided us in different directions. It has been very, very good. We are developing a research in resilience, urban resilience, particularly in how we can understand governance of the urban resilience in Brazil. And as you will see, there are loads of things that we must speed up and we must learn, and this project has helped us in this direction. We also have worked very hard in the implementation of the Innovation Park of BRE in Brazil, PISAC, and this has been a great adventure, and I do thank for this opportunity to what we are testing over there, integrating the construction industry. And Miles said for me last time he went to Brazil with us, this is a great movement that we are doing. We now have already 250 people from the industry working with us, more than 50 organizations, half of them from the industry, and this for Brazil is something very different. And we also have given some support to Gili and Bindi in the UNDP project, which is a very important project for Brazil, because it's established a new standard and a new scorecard for the Minha Casa Minha Vida, which is one of the biggest housing program in the world. We need to build 26 million housing in order to reach the demand. So this work is very important because it will establish some new standards and new ways of doing urban areas. And also BRE Academy, which is introducing new courses and new ways of introducing the tools and also new standards to the construction industry and professionals. So the Center of Excellence, at the same time that works with research and in scientific studies, we also we are working trying to bring all this experience and expertise into the industry, identifying new partners and new ways of accelerating the absorption of these new and important lessons. I will ask Philippe, one of our research collaborators, to talk about the Urban Resilience Project. This is a project which is aligned with the BRE Trust Resilience Center, and it has been very interesting because when we began this project, our aim was really to understand the governance, and then it has developed into developing tools that will help us not only understand the governance, but also to strengthen the integration of public sector and academia and also the productive sector. So this has been very interesting. We have a very small team made of graduation students, most of them, this fourth on the top, Rodrigo, Mateus, Maísa, Felipe. They are graduation studies, very young people under my leadership, and it has been very exciting for them to be involved in the project. And Philippe is a graduate student who is aiming to get into the master and PhD in the future. He wants to come to Europe. In fact, he wants to abandon me, and I really wish he will be able to do this. But he's very good, and I do thank him for all that he has helped us in this process. And I will just very quickly say that yes, I said this, and it has been very great, this opportunity, and I would like to once again to thank Peter. Thank you, Orivaldo. Thank you very much, and Deb, thank you. Thank you all, and I hope that this will give you an idea of what we are doing. Thank you.
Hello. I would like to, first of all, thank this opportunity, thank BRE and Raquel for the opportunity to be here presenting my research in a topic that is very dear to me because we're talking about the future of Brazilian cities. One of the main drivers for this project is indeed the fragility of Brazilian cities. We have very large cities and that have developed quite quickly in the last few decades. The population growth has been immense, mainly in the southern urban centers. And this population growth has concentrated in peripheries that have much of the housing in self-built fashion, with very little oversight, very little infrastructure. There are huge parts of the cities where the government is not present, that are dominated by criminal gangs, where the violence is very high, is a big problem. So, in short, we need better governance in Brazil. And to get better governance, we need to research a lot how to improve the conditions of the cities. The data gap is very wide in Brazil. Most historical series are at most 1 or 2 decades old. And even when there are more historical data available, the methodology has shifted a lot. So most of the data becomes not very reliable or not very useful for research because of the continuity problems that we face. Every time government changes in Brazil, we have issues with the transition. It was until very recently common for the outgoing government to just erase everything, to just get rid of our archives and to just format all computers as a sabotage act to the incoming government because of the different parties coming in and out. But all these problems also present a great opportunity for high impact action. We can do now things that can impact Brazil very deeply and for a very long time. So this is the problem that is facing the BRE Trust Center for Integrated and Sustainable Communities. How can we build better cities in Brazil? This is a very iconic image that shows a luxury development in São Paulo. And right outside of the development is a huge slum city. The slum city is ironically called Paradise Town or something like that in a loose translation. It's all the housings are self-built. There is no infrastructure to speak of. There are no streets. You can see there that the drainage is over the street, and it's mixed sewage with rain drainage, and we have very big problems of safety and security. It's not uncommon in Brazil for huge fires to rage through these shanty towns. Sometimes there are controversies as to the cause of these fires, because there are areas occupied by these populations that are very central and highly desirable for development. So we have problems with the safety of these populations, and also with security, because there are parts of these shanty towns where the police won't even come in unless they're coming as a military troop with heavy support from the military. And the issue with the continuity, and it shows in the seasonal problems that we have with the weather. Every year, the Brazilian cities grind to a halt in the rainy season because of flooding and because of many other health issues. And the government seems incapable to learn from the experience. So we have developed a methodology to approach this problem. It starts with a literature review to find out the state of the art of research in this area all over the world, to develop a diagnostic tool so we can evaluate just exactly how big is the problem and what do we need to do to solve it. And then we move on to the structuring of data collection. Because of the lack of historical series and institutional data available, we have to build our own databases. And then we have to go to the field and collect this data, and then analyze this data so we can produce knowledge based on it. So this was phase one, which ended in the first semester of 2016. And then we started in the second semester, phase two, which is based on the deployment of a mobile application that can be used in smartphones to help to gather this data and to store it in a database so it can be used by researchers. And this is a detailing of the steps that we have took in the first semester. We have evaluated the Brazilian legislation to better understand the issues of governance, which has been an interesting effort. It has taught us a lot, mainly in the aspects where the legislation diverge from the practice, because we have a lot of regulation in Brazil, but it's not always exactly applied as it should. We evaluated the Brazilian compliance to international treaties, mainly to the IOGO framework. And we have also mapped out the agents and instruments available. And that means we have seeked out the government agencies and the main institutions involved with the governments of the Brazilian cities. And then we have also evaluated the available funding to enable us to do further research. This was the first phase of the project. This is the mobile application that we have started to develop. It's called Coral Cities because of the parallels we have drawn from the establishment of the recifs of coral in the ocean, with the idea and the concept of a healthy city, because of the ecological constraints that corals face and the issues that we face in developing better cities. This is the database management panel that we use to organize the information that we gather from the mobile application. This is not fully implemented yet. It's mostly concept, but it is already working. It's already starting to work. We have these spreadsheets of nodes and edges because it's structured to work with a network analysis. So we have we collect data about the agents and the instruments, and these are the nodes. And then we map out the relationship among these nodes, so we can quantify the relationships and find out more about the structure of these relationships. This is an illustration of the spreadsheet, just to give an idea of how we are dealing with the data that we are collecting. It's all georeferenced in the latitude and longitude columns, so we can also build maps that help to visualize this data. This is, on the left, an illustration of the network analysis capabilities of the program. And this is a very early application of the network analysis in the legislation. So we can understand how the governmental institutions, they relate and they communicate with each other. So we can quantify where are the gaps and where are the best opportunities for integration, where are the best opportunities for high impact action. The project phase 2, which is now underway, almost at the end, focuses on the mobile application, which has three different objects. In fact, we have sought to raise public awareness about the issues that the city face, and also to give a voice to the people to point out the main problems that the communities face. And this helps to engage them in the discussion, and also presents an opportunity for the government and for the main institutions to communicate their goals and to better explain to the public and better engage the public in their actions. And this serves to build the database. So we are basically building from scratch the body of data that we need to do the research, and we are also at the same time building the tools that we are using to build this data body. So this process has these steps of evaluating what statistics are available, and then to select the methods for integrating these databases and to grow these databases. And then we have to prepare the team for the field work and actually go on the real world and get the actual data that we need. And this is more about the application in greater detail. It shows how the people can use the application to point out the main issues that they face in their neighborhoods. And this is not only going to be used by the population, this is also going to be used by the researchers in the field. So there's going to be different levels of information being inputted to the database. And there's also a process for validation and verification of the data. This is an illustration of the main problem that we have in Brazilian cities that relates to the focuses of multiplication of mosquitoes that spread many diseases. And this is a big health issue in Brazil, so we have focused on that for the pilot testing of the application. And now we are moving on to phase 3 of the project, which is the deployment of the mobile application and the scaling up of the data modeling from a strictly metropolitan focus to a regional focus. And this means we want to start mapping out the relationship between the cities, not only of the agents within the cities, but also how the different cities are connected to each other in terms of infrastructure, movement of people, movement of goods, movement of funds. So this also presents an opportunity to develop strategic analysis capabilities. This is related to the connectography idea, but forwarded by Parag Khanna, a researcher that has inspired much of the work that we want to do on phase 3 of the project. And this means that we also want to translate the mobile application and make it available globally, so every city can take part of this effort that we are putting forward. We have, so summarizing what we have done and what we want to complete, we have built a custom database. We have developed a public mobile application, which is not completely developed yet, but it's underway. And we want to integrate these two tools so we can go on the field and build the databases that we need to enable further research into the problems that Brazilian cities face. This is a detailing of these steps that we are taking. We need to also integrate better modeling and visualization tools into the database, so we can take this data and make it actually useful, not just for research, but also to the public, to the institutions, so they can make this, so we can act on this. And this is all related to transition in Brazil to a more evidence-based policymaking model, because this is a thing that is sorely needed in Brazil at the moment. We are then focusing on network modeling, as I said before, because it enables us to quantify the relationships between the different institutions and the different instruments that they use. It enables us to relate governance and resilience principles, and also presents opportunities for data gathering. And also it's a scalable method, so we can apply the same basic tools inside the cities and for regional development. And this is the main principles of better governance that we have adopted to guide us through this process. Is inspired by the publications from the UN, and it relates the best practice of democratic and inclusive governance, integrated, multi-scale, territorial, and proficient in digital technology. It's very parallel to the best practice of resilience, which need to be based on networks that work well, that are redundant, that will not fail in case of problems, that are distributed, that have diverse aspects integrated into it, that are modular and flexible, and can adapt to the problems that they face. So from these different aspects, we can build a resilient governance model for Brazil that can help us to manage these many different problems, many different tools that we have to deal with it. The pilot application will be based on the civil defense, which is our main institution for the dealing with emergency response and building into the cities the defense for the people to deal with, also to deal with disasters and to prepare for the climate change that's going to face our cities inevitably. And moving forward, we want to basically have more resilient cities by having more resilience research, deploy these tools to collect the data, to create the models and the tools to gather data and use the data, so we can have evidence-based policy making in Brazil. Thank you very much.